Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to really get under the skin of the big topics shaping our world. And today, we're tackling something that's making a lot of people uneasy, from the C-suite right down to the marketing trenches. It's this feeling, this sense that AI-generated content, well, it often lacks a certain something. A soul, maybe?
Yeah, that generic quality, you see it and you instantly know, that's AI, it's bland.
Exactly.
Hmm.
And companies are worried, and they probably should be, that it's watering down their brand identity. So our mission today is to unpack this pretty powerful two-pronged strategy that's been proposed to deal with this.
Right, this liability forcing function on one hand.
And the BrandLens gateway on the other.
Yeah.
It sounds kind of intriguing, actually.
It is. The idea is, how can a company protect itself from these, frankly, escalating AI risks?
And at the same time, maybe turn its generative AI into something unique, something that actually strengthens the brand.
Precisely. We're drawing from some excerpts today from a source called BrandLens, Directing AI for Brand Identity. It lays out, well, it's basically a corporate strategy playbook.
Okay, so let's set the scene. The source suggests that by mid-2025, the internet is just drowning in this generic AI stuff.
Yeah, the great homogenization, they call it.
Like those awful stock photos from years ago, you just knew instantly.
Exactly like that. And it's a real problem for brands, which leads to the question, why does AI output often feel so average, so soulless?
And the insight here, apparently, is that it's not the AI's fault, not inherently anyway.
No, it's fascinating. It boils down to a control problem, a lack of precise control.
It's Ming.
Well, think about it. These big generic models, LLMs, they're trained on, the entire internet, more or less, so they default to a statistical average of everything they've seen.
Which is bound to be kind of bland.
Exactly, bland, middle of the road. But a real brand, a real identity, or soul, if you like, isn't average. It's a purposeful, consistent step away from that average. It's about being distinct, being deliberately on brand, yes.
And this lack of control, this inconsistency, it's causing some serious headaches at the top levels of companies, right? Boards, C-suites.
Oh, absolutely. You've got CMOs just terrified their unique brand voice is getting washed away.
They've tried fine-tuning these models, I gather.
They have, but the sources say it's clumsy. It's not good enough for the real nuance, the subtle stuff that makes a brand feel like itself.
Like trying to conduct a jazz band with only the rules for a marching band.
That's a great analogy, yeah. And then there's the legal side, which is getting scary.
The hypothetical risks from, say, 2023 are now real lawsuits.
Very real and very costly. They mentioned the Samsung Precedent. Remember that? IP leaks just from employees pasting stuff into public LLMs. Huge liability.
Ouch.
And bad advice lawsuits. Firms getting sued because someone used a generic chatbot, gave harmful advice, and boom, the company's on the hook. Establishes a duty of care.
You can't just let employees use any tool off the shelf anymore.
Not without guardrails, no. And then there's AI defamation. The AI hallucinates something damaging, makes something up.
And the company using the AI is considered the publisher, not the AI model provider.
That's the precedent, yeah. The user, the company deploying it, holds the liability.
Wow. Okay, so the risks are massive. But it's not just risk, is it? It's also about just getting work done, this productivity paradox.
Right, that's a huge pain point, too. Employees get this flash of brilliance from the AI 1 minute.
Amazing output.
And the next, it's just meh. Or worse. And it's unreliable. You can't reproduce the good stuff consistently, especially for important work.
That must kill workflows. So frustrating.
Totally. So you've got this situation. Banning AI seems impossible now, right? You'd lose too much productivity.
Can't put the genie back in the bottle.
But letting it run wild, uncontrolled, as we've seen, that's just negligent. Demonstrably so.
Which creates this urgent need for something else, a solution.
Exactly. Which brings us to the first part of the strategy. The stick.
The liability forcing function. Sounds ominous.
It kind of is. It's about weaponizing a core legal principle. Fiduciary duty.
Okay, break that down. Fiduciary duty is?
It's the fundamental legal obligation of a company's board and its top executives to act in the best interest of the company and its shareholders.
It includes managing risks.
Foreseeable risks. That's the key. This strategy works by making these huge AI risks, like the brand drifting off course, massive inefficiencies, this thing called trust debt, not just foreseeable, but measurable.
Measurable.
Through a specific formula. TD equals drift, X, intent reality.
Hmm.
Trust debt equals drift times the gap between what you intended and what actually happened.
Okay.
And the tech behind measuring that drift and reality precisely is something called shape, is symbol. Think of it as quantifying the conceptual pattern of content.
And they have proof this works.
Well, the source mentions a specific case, a 361 times performance gain in one system using this approach.
361x, that's huge.
It is, and the implication is if one system can be that much better, it mathematically proves how catastrophically inefficient all the other unmeasured systems must be. It makes the risk undeniable.
So once it's measurable, ignoring it isn't just oversight.
It's an active decision, documentable, potentially negligent. That's the forcing function.
Okay, so how do they roll this out? It's not like they just announce it, right?
No, it's phased. Phase 1 is clever, kind of subtle. It's called seeding the standard of care, or, more dramatically, the white paper offensive.
And offensive, huh?
The goal isn't just to publish research, it's to deliberately create and establish a new, higher standard of care in the public domain, because you can't be sued for ignoring a standard that nobody knows exists yet.
Got it. So the document itself.
It's formal, titled something like Trust Debt, a new quantifiable standard of care for corporate and AI governance. It lays out the formula, the tech shape is symbol of that 361x proof point.
And who do they send it to? Not the tech guys.
No, that's the key. It goes to chief risk officers, general counsels, activist investors, D&O liability insurance underwriters, the people who insure directors against getting sued for negligence.
The people who really care about this kind of risk.
Exactly. And it gets submitted to places like Harvard Law Review, the Wall Street Journal, high-impact, serious publications.
So the outcome is the market is now officially on notice.
Precisely. Ignorance is no longer a defense. The standard exists.
Okay, phase 1 sets the stage. What's phase 2?
Phase 2 moves inside the target companies, arming the insurgents or the boardroom question.
Insurgents. Sounds like corporate warfare.
Well, the goal is to empower people within these companies, maybe VPs of strategy, internal auditors, risk managers, to force the issue upwards.
Ow.
With a specific, carefully crafted question, a poison pill question designed to be asked in a board meeting, or a similar high-level context.
Okay, I need to hear this question.
Right, it goes something like this. A patented, verifiable standard now exists to mathematically measure strategic drift and trust debt in our AI and human systems in real time. Sets the stage. Then, my question for the board is, now that this standard of care exists and we have been made aware of it, what is the board's documented position on the legal and financial liability we are incurring by choosing to remain blind to this measurable risk?
Whoa, that's direct.
And then the killer part. For the record, can you please have the secretary minute our decision to formally ignore this?
Oof. That forces their hand. You can't just brush that off. It demands a documented decision.
Exactly. It turns a vague fear into a specific documented liability calculation, and they deploy this question tactically. Targeted LinkedIn campaigns, maybe, reaching those internal VPs and auditors.
So it becomes a loyalty test.
Yeah,
Loyalty to the old way or loyalty to fiduciary duty.
pretty much. Ask the question or risk being implicated later for not asking it when you knew. It's designed to create internal pressure, internal chaos, maybe.
And critically, a paper trail. Discoverable evidence of a conscious choice being made?
That's the point. A paper trail of awareness and the subsequent decision, whatever it is.
Okay, that's the internal pressure. What's next? Phase 3.
Phase 3 is public escalation, using a case study and leveraging a public failure.
Okay, explain.
First, you help a company, an early adopter, an escapee, implement the system successfully.
It works.
Right. Then you publish a case study, how Company X eradicated its hidden trust debt and became insurable against AI-driven failure. Proof positive.
Making them look smart and proactive.
And making everyone else look less so. Then you wait.
Wait for what?
For a major public failure at another large company that can be linked to an algorithm going wrong. A flash crash, a PR disaster from a chatbot, a system meltdown. Something visible.
It happens.
When it does, you pounce. Not with a lawsuit, but with a public analysis.
Right.
A post-mortem. Titled something like, A Preventable Failure. How Failed Company Y's Trust Debt Led to Its $10 billion Collapse. Using the trust debt framework to show it wasn't random bad luck, it was predictable, measurable negligence, because they chose not to measure the risk that the escapee company did measure and manage.
Ouch, that connects the dots publicly.
Connects the solution directly to disaster prevention, and guess who starts calling then?
the D&O insurance underwriters.
Bingo. They really don't like predictable multi-billion-dollar failures that they might have to pay for.
Okay, this is building. What's the final phase? The endgame.
Phase 4 is the endgame, the shareholder lawsuit.
Ah, the lawsuit finally arrives.
But strategically, the goal isn't just damages, it's to set a legal precedent, to make using this kind of risk measurement technology essentially mandatory for responsible governance.
How do they trigger that?
The plan is to actually fund a shareholder derivative lawsuit against the board of directors of a company that failed, using the public analysis from Phase 3 as a basis.
They provide the lawyers, the experts, the money.
Exactly. They provide the whole package. And the legal argument is designed to be brutally simple.
Which is?
1, a standard for measuring this risk existed. 2, the board knew about it, or reasonably should have known. 3, other companies were successfully using it to mitigate the risk. 4, this board chose not to use it in action. 5, that inaction violated their fiduciary duty. 6, that violation directly led to massive shareholder losses.
Clean, simple, devastating, if proven.
And the lawsuit itself, the moment it's filed, it sends shockwaves. Every general counsel, every board member at every major company asks the same question.
Are we exposed to this?
Get me those trust debt people now.
So the company behind this isn't just selling software anymore.
No, they're selling, as the source puts it, absolution. Governance, compliance, the only safe harbor in the storm they helped create.
Wow, that is one heck of a stick. But you need a carrot too, right? People don't just adopt things out of fear.
Absolutely, and that's where the BrandLens gateway comes in. This is the positive side, the carrot.
Okay, so what is it exactly?
It's positioned as the single mandatory interface for any interaction with an external LLM within the company.
Mandatory.
That's the idea. And its purpose is to take that generic AI and transform it into something that is consistently, reliably on-brand, compliant, and frankly, brilliant, a proprietary asset.
So it's like a filter or a control layer?
Yes, but much more. Crucially, it creates that legally defensible, time-stamped, auditable record of everything. Think of it like Sarbanes-Oxley for AI, a compliance dashboard for this new era.
Okay, SOX for AI. That resonates. What are the core claims? What does it actually do?
Well, mathematically, it rests on a few key things. First, that unified trust debt score we talked about. It pulls data from everywhere, code, logs, project management tools, support tickets, and boils it down to one number showing your overall alignment.
One score to rule them all.
Kind of, yeah. Then, visual divergence analysis. Simple charts showing intent versus reality for AI projects. Makes it easy for non-tech execs to see if things are on track or drifting.
Pictures are easier than spreadsheets for a board meeting.
Definitely. Then there's predictive failure forecasting, using that shape is symbol tech to actually predict future problems. That's huge for fiduciary duty. It's forward-looking risk management.
A crystal ball for AI drift.
And finally, financial impact correlation. It links those abstract trust debt scores to actual money-wasted cloud spend, lost customers due to bad AI interactions, stuff the CFO cares about.
Speaks their language. Okay, those are the math claims. What about the business side?
Just as compelling, immutable, auditable reporting. Every report is cryptographically signed, time-stamped, put on an immutable ledger. It's rock-solid legal evidence if needed.
Like a digital notary.
Exactly. Then, standard of care benchmarking. It shows you anonymized data on how you compare to your industry peers on AI governance, weapons-grade peer pressure.
Nobody wants to be at the bottom of that list.
Nobody. It also offers a fiduciary compliance certification, a literal certificate of alignment when your trust debt score hits a certain good threshold, proof for the board they're being diligent.
Tangible proof.
And accountability pinpointing. The dashboard doesn't just show overall risk. It shows which division, maybe even which team or manager, is responsible for high trust debt scores. Forces internal action where it's needed.
No hiding.
No hiding. But the real hook, the thing that gets everyday users excited, is the killer app.
Which is?
Reproducibility and conceptual fingerprinting. This tackles that frustration we talked about earlier.
The AI being brilliant one minute, useless the next. Losing the magic.
Exactly that. Users get this amazing output, but they don't know why it was amazing. They can't describe the quality, let alone get it again. AI drift in action.
Okay, so how does this fingerprinting fix that?
Okay, so a user gets a great result. They flag it as genius in the BrandLens system.
Capture the lightning.
Right. BrandLens then analyzes that text using the company's foundational information map. That's like the brand's DNA, its core communication patterns. It maps the underlying concepts that made the output great.
Like, it detected high urgency and user benefit, but low technical jargon.
Precisely that kind of thing. It generates a conceptual fingerprint, a mathematical signature of that specific style.
Okay.
Then, get this, the system itself uses its LLM to analyze that fingerprint and suggest a name for it, like the urgent insider voice.
It names the unnameable, creates vocabulary for style.
Yes, and that named fingerprint is saved as a reusable asset, a golden template. It's a precise mathematical definition of what great looks like for that specific context.
And once you have that template,
You can use it to guide future LLM outputs, make them consistently match that style. Or you can use it to score new content against the template to ensure it stays on brand. Reproducible, scalable genius.
that sounds incredibly useful.
That-
Solves a massive user pain point.
Huge. And this is implemented through a workflow they call the compliance sandwich.
Compliance sandwich. Okay.
The idea is employees are basically forbidden from just hitting a raw LLM like GPT-4 directly.
Everything has to go through BrandLens.
Right. So the user logs into BrandLens, picks a lens like empathetic support or witty social media, which corresponds to one of those golden templates.
Okay.
They type their simple, normal prompt, explain our refund policy, whatever.
Yeah, I see.
Then comes the sandwich, the bottom slice. BrandLens takes the user's simple prompt and automatically wraps it in complex meta instructions based on the chosen lens, the F of fame. It's prompt engineering done for the user, perfectly aligned with brand rules.
Smart. Hidden complexity.
Then the meat. That enhanced prompt gets sent to the external LLM API GPT-4, Claude 3, or whichever.
The AI does its thing.
Then the top slice. The response comes back to BrandLens first. BrandLens instantly scores it against the F-thing, the golden template. Does it meet the standard? Is it compliant? Is it on brand?
And if it is,
Passes straight through to the user, looks seamless.
and if it isn't,
BrandLens can automatically refine it, tweak it, maybe reprompt the LLM with adjustments until it is compliant and high quality. Then the user gets the good version.
so the user just gets consistently good on-brand results without wrestling with the AI.
That's the promise. It aligns the board's need for control and risk management perfectly with the user's desire for easy, great results.
That's clever. Control that feels like empowerment. Adoption becomes much easier then.
Almost inevitable, the source suggests, because it makes life better for everyone.
So this really changes the whole game. BrandLens becomes this conductor for the brand's voice.
Yeah, the sole conductor for the brand's symphony is the analogy used.
Explain that, the symphony part.
Well, that foundational information map, the FFM, it's not just rules, it's the sheet music. It maps out all the unique relationships, the harmonies, the trade-offs in your brand's voice.
Like always lead with user benefit, use short sentences, maybe a specific balance between sounding authoritative versus casual,
Exactly, those kinds of nuances. It's the detailed score.
and choosing a lens in the system.
That's like the conductor using their baton to cue a specific section. Witty social media lens. That's the scherzo. The fast, playful part. Empathetic support. That's the adagio. Slow and calming.
I like that. And what about when the output is off? Not quite right.
That's where the hop log comes in. It's like the critic's review. It doesn't just say bad output. It explains the specific dissonance.
So not just, this wasn't empathetic enough, but
More like factual accuracy was scored at 9, drowning out user empathy, which only scored a 3. Try rebalancing. It gives actionable feedback for refinement, guides the AI back to the right sound.
that's incredibly powerful. It changes the job, doesn't it?
Fundamentally, you're moving employees away from being glorified prompt engineers, just guessing and
It's
hoping.
like being what? Brand composer?
Or conceptual choreographers, maybe. They're using this sophisticated instrument, BrandLens, to design, direct, and fine-tune AI performance so it perfectly embodies the company's unique soul.
And the FIMM, that sheet music, becomes this incredibly valuable proprietary corporate asset.
Priceless. And BrandLens is the only instrument built to play that specific symphony.
Okay, I see the carrot now. It's compelling. But how does this tie back to the stick? Why is the stick inevitable if people buy into the carrot?
Ah, that's the final elegant piece. To use the genius capture, the conceptual fingerprinting, to make those golden templates, what do you need?
You need a really detailed foundational information map. You have to define your brand's goodness mathematically.
Exactly. In the very act of mapping their successes, defining what makes their communication brilliant, companies are forced to create the exact same detailed, auditable, time-stamped records that the liability and safety functions require.
So they buy it for the carrot, for the reproducible genius.
And they automatically, seamlessly opt into the stick. The governance, the audit trail, the risk measurement, it all comes along for the ride because it's built on the same foundation.
Wow. They build their own compliance engine just by trying to capture their own best practices.
That's the strategic brilliance of it, according to the source.
Okay, so wrapping this up, this deep dive. The core idea seems to be that managing AI effectively isn't just defensive. It's not just about stopping bad things from happening.
No, it's equally, maybe more importantly, about being proactive, about deliberately injecting your unique brand identity, your soul, into the AI and achieving excellence that you can actually reproduce.
Avoiding the pitfalls is table stakes. The real win is creating something uniquely yours.
Right.
Which leaves us with a pretty interesting final thought, doesn't it? In this age of AI, maybe the ultimate competitive advantage, the real innovation, isn't just having the smartest AI model.
Maybe it's about the proprietary soul you manage to engineer into that model, how you make it uniquely yours.
So for everyone listening, what soul do you want to embed into your digital presence? Something to think about.